Hello there, this is Daniel Britton from fearlessfinance.co with 3 simple diagrams that can change your life. Okay, so let's start with a big one, and that's the myth of passion is all you need. Passion is obviously important. It gets you out of bed in the morning, it helps you overcome inevitable setbacks and slumps, but on its own it's not enough. You know, many kids growing up, they perhaps want to be a singer or a professional footballer or an actor, and they have a real passion for it. And you see pushy parents on X Factor or Britain's Got Talent throwing their kids into the limelight when really they're not that good. And that brings us to the second sphere here, that of competence. It's okay to have a passion about something, but if you're not that good at it, it's going to be difficult to make a living. Then the third one is demand. So are people going to be willing and able to pay you for your passion and your competence? You may be a talented poet. You may have a passion for it. But in the real world, how many successful poets are there? Not that many. So you have to consider all 3 factors together. And all 3 are equally as important. So find a way to combine your passion, develop the skills or find the competence that you have, and also make sure there's sufficient demand to enable you to make a living doing what you love. Diagram 2. This one came courtesy of Vishen Lakhiani, founder of Mindvalley. He sets up the grid looking at this: happiness in the now from low to high, and then vision for the future, again from low to high. So if you were to score yourself out of 10, how happy are you in this moment, and what is your strength of vision for the future? If you find yourself in the bottom box with a low score for each, you're in what he calls the negative spiral. So you're unhappy now, you don't have much of a vision for the future, you're just going to stay stuck and feel pretty down about things. If you're finding yourself quite happy now, but again with no vision for the future, I've coloured that one pink because of rose tinted glasses. You might think everything's okay, but unfortunately things can change external to us, which is going to affect how we feel. So that might be loss of a partner, it might be illness, it might be losing your job or a global pandemic. So being happy now but with no vision for the future is not necessarily a safe place to be. So what about a strong vision for the future, but not very happy in the moment? Well, that way leads to stress and anxiety. You set goals, you have visions, you're ambitious for the future, but you're discontent in the moment. And that negativity now is not going to lead to fulfilling that vision for the future. So what it means is you suffer from stress and anxiety in the present time. So where do we like to be? We'd like to be happy now, accepting of our situation, but also with a very strong vision of the future to pull us forward. And that one Vishen calls bending reality. Other people call it the flow. So this is where you're able to draw the people, the circumstances, the resources you need to you, and you're happy at the moment, and you're even happier when the reality comes to fruition. And finally, diagram number 3. This one comes from Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki. He looked at different ways in which people earn money. So to begin with, we've got the employee. That's people who spend their time at work and they're swapping their time for money. Their conditions, their pay is largely controlled by somebody else. Then we've got those that are self-employed. They own their own business, they work for themselves, and that covers a whole spectrum. That could be tradespeople, or it could be self-employed sports stars earning a lot of money, but they're still effectively swapping their time for money, even though they're their own boss. Over the other side, we've got the business owner. Now that's different from being self-employed because they're leveraging other people's time, other people's skill, other people's resources perhaps, to run a business, and they are the owner of that business, and that business may exist with or without them. So they're in a stronger financial position. But ultimately, the investor is the fourth quadrant, and they are where the wealth gets made. So these people are not only limited to owning a business or one business, they may have stakes in multiple businesses. They may invest in property or real estate. They may have stock market investments. They may have other investments which all bring them money from different sources. So there you have it. There are 3 of my favorite diagrams which can make a big impact on how you feel about money and how you feel about being successful in life.